As the Jedi and pirates worked together to escape Grievous, Weequay pirate Hondo Ohnaka was convinced by youngling Katooni to help Ahsoka. Outside of the hangar, Grievous was chasing Ahsoka and the younglings, and the Kaleesh warrior was about to kill them all when R2-D2 dramatically tilted the ship, crashing into the surface below. The younglings get to their feet, thinking that they were safe, but Grievous rose from the dust, and Ahsoka stood to protect them. Ahsoka is outmatched, yet manages to hold on for long enough to evade a certain death and escape in Hondo's repaired ship. The Slave One opened fire on the cyborg, almost overwhelming and killing him, but is saved by his army. In the end, Jedi Master Obi-Wan Kenobi defeated Grievous on the planet of Utapau, right at the end of the Clone War. But what if Ahsoka had somehow killed Grievous? What effect would getting rid of the leader of the Separatist Army have in the earlier stages of the war? And what would happen to Ahsoka? As you are about to discover, the death of Grievous at the hands of Ahsoka will alter the Clone War. Ahsoka leapt in front of the younglings to stop Grievous, and they all ran to Hondo's ship. Grievous's blades whirled towards Ahsoka, and the Padawan blocked her with their own lightsabers before force pushing Grievous away. Ordering the ship to move closer towards her, she directed the younglings to use their blaster cannons as the droid general. Grievous recovers to block the attacks, and Ahsoka redirects some of the bolts to the incoming HMP gunships. Hondo decides that he wants his turn to fire, and uses the onboard proton torpedoes to collapse the ground beneath Grievous. The cyborg is slightly trapped under a rock, and punching his way out, he fails to react to a flying Ahsoka, who pierced both of her blades into Grievous's torso. Above her, she could hear the cheers of Hondo and the younglings, and Ahsoka jumps onto their ship before more Separatist reinforcements arrived. Hondo guides them back into Republic hands, where the younglings report of Ahsoka's heroics. Obi-Wan is doubtful, but Hondo asks his pirates to bring out the mangled corpse of Grievous, impressing Obi-Wan. Hondo parts ways with the Jedi for now, and they go to Coruscant, standing in front of the Council. Joined by Anakin, the Jedi Knight suggests Ahsoka should receive a knighthood for her efforts, but Master Windu is not willing to do so. Anakin is angry at the Council for not recognizing something that even their masters couldn't do, and walked out of the room. Anakin took a small journey through the corridors of the Jedi Temple, before receiving a transmission from Chancellor Palpatine. The Jedi Knight thought that a trip to the office of his mentor could improve his mood, and sprinted away. The Chancellor shows concern at Anakin's mood, but is secretly relishing Anakin's hate for the Council. Unlike the Council, Palpatine praises Anakin for the training of Ahsoka, and that it would be a disgrace if he were not made a Jedi Master soon. Anakin bowed in gratitude, and left Palpatine with a lot to think about. The secret Sith Lord turned on his holoprojector, then found Count Dooku. The Sith apprentice laments the loss of Grievous, but Palpatine sees it as an opportunity to replace the cyborg with someone potentially more powerful and force sensitive, and Dooku knows he is in danger. Palpatine was soon summoned to the Jedi Temple, and this was his chance. After a mindless meeting about Maul, Palpatine cloaked his presence, then entered the quarters of Padawan Barriss Offee. Palpatine used his masterful manipulation skills to convince Barriss to frame Ahsoka for a bombing of the Jedi Temple, and in time, she would be rewarded for her efforts, unlike what the Jedi had done. The events proceed as Palpatine had wanted, and he was able to dictate the trial to ensure that Ahsoka was freed, but Barriss was convicted. With Ahsoka's bridge to the Jedi Order burned, she leaves Anakin and the Order, paving the way for Palpatine. In the underworld of Coruscant, Ahsoka trudged the streets, failing to notice a probe droid watching her every move. She finds a place to rest for the night, but the former Jedi Padawan's world was to take a dark turn. The probe droid had passed the location onto Count Dooku, and arriving in his secret hangar in the Works district, captures the sleeping Ahsoka. The Togruta eventually woke up, and saw Dooku and the hooded Palpatine next to him. Before she could speak, the two Sith engulfed her with Sith magic, terrorizing her mind, and pain coursed through her body like never before. The beacon of the light in the Force was fading with each passing moment, and soon she was one of the Sith. On Coruscant, Anakin had been venting his frustration at Obi-Wan for their treatment of Ahsoka when he sensed a disturbance in the Force. Through his connection to Ahsoka, he could sense her presence fading away and looked to Obi-Wan for his guidance. The two Jedi run out of the room and into a Jedi gunship, soon joined by members of the 501st. Anakin reached out into the Force and searched for Ahsoka's presence, finding a warehouse in the lower levels of Coruscant. Upon closer inspection, he sees a small trail of blood that faded away, and Anakin howled into the moonlight. He would not lose another, even if it meant a trip away from the Jedi. That is it for part 1 of What If Ahsoka Killed Grievous. If you'd like to see a part 2 soon, please like this video, turn on that notification bell, subscribe to this channel and my other channel What If Films for more What Ifs. And as always, leave a comment on what if you'd all like to see next, and how I can improve my videos. Thank you all very much for watching, and see you next time.